You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
And of course, let me say a special hello to all the WZYE 95.9 FM listeners. It's in the village with the dark triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. And we come to you every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 9 p.m. That's Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 9 p.m. And let me bring in no other than the one and only Waveney Diana Ben Skin Boy. Waveney, how you going today, Waveney?
Boy, bacchanal, and confusion.
BAC, boy.
Vaccine gate, all kind of thing going on in Trinidad and Tobago. But I can't keep up. Keep up with all. Yeah, it's confusing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let me welcome Steve Trini Lopez from Orlando, Florida, and Cindy MJC. You know Cindy. All I know, Cindy changed her name, right? Cindy have a new name. Of course, Mark Daniel from Tobago. He's always locked on. Pleasant good evening to you as well. You know, Diana, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, boy. Hi, Cindy. How you going? Cindy, what's going on, Cindy? What's new? Let me figure out what's new. Mark, anything new in Tobago, boy? I see all again, all your second 𝗧𝗵𝗲 soon, you know.
Oh, Lord.
Nana, welcome to as well. Mark, I see all again, all your second job at 𝗧𝗵𝗲 very soon, boy. So all you're going to be good, boy.
But Anselm, some countries are saying they're not accepting people who vaccinated with 𝗧𝗵𝗲. How you mean they're good?
But Diana, we have said here before, it's better they take something than nothing. They can't get nothing else. What they go take? They can't get AstraZeneca, right? They can't get Sinovac, right? They can't get Pfizer unless you're in the army. That's the only way you'll get Pfizer. You have to be in the army to get Pfizer. You know.
You see the discrimination. You see the bourgeois thing I tell you about. You see?
They can't get Moderna. What do you get? Cindy say point in Houston, boy. Cindy, I was point in Houston. What again in Houston?
It was pouring here in Connecticut too.
Yeah.
Earlier, it's cold. The whole day was cold. I have me a cup of tea today. See, tea in there.
You always have something looking like tea, you know.
It's tea, red rose tea. See, viewers, I hope you can see. That's tea.
People that still drink that. People that still drink red rose tea.
Yeah, that's the tea I grew up on, so I had to stick to that. And
still drink that.
I just do the what you call fever grass tea.
Oh. Something for nothing is nothing. What does that mean? Cindy, you're so right. Cindy said tea with a shot. It's tea with an S in it.
What is going on, boy?
Diana, Diana, I don't know, boy. But you know something? You know we haven't played this one in a while though. Let me start with this one earlier.
Madness.
Well, yeah, but let me go with Gypsy first.
Oh yes. Someone put a hand, come and wipe away the blight and see what the plight that befall the man of this land. What's going on here? I would like to know why the whole world is in a turmoil. So it look as if we fire God from the job and give the work to the Beelzebub. Man, the devil have a hand in running the land. The devil have a hand in running the land. The people have to never like understand. The devil have a hand in running the land. The devil have a hand in running the land. The devil have a hand in running the land. The people have never like understand. Like if Satan in control of running the land. Hey man, oh man. Only wars and rumors of wars, incurable disease go from sea to seas and they happen without a cause. Strange phenomena now happen everywhere. The callousness of this world have the world in fear. Politics and weaponry have taken hold. They have the whole world out of control. Man, the devil have a hand in running the land. The devil have a hand in running the land. The thing that happen here, well I can understand like it. Oh yes man. Running the land. The devil have a hand in running the land. The thing open and never like I understand like if Satan in control of running the land. Oh man. To get at ease, we turn to religion, but then in our quest to do our best we end up in real confusion. Some religious leaders so phony and vain, allow religious morals to go down the drain. Their materialism make them feel them is Lord, robbing the world in the name of God. Man, the devil have a hand in running the land. The devil have a hand in running the land. The thing of going on here well I can understand that the devil have a hand in running the land. The devil have a hand in running the land. The devil have a hand in running the land. The thing will come here well I can understand. Like you Satan in control of running the land. Oh man.
I don't know, Diana, but I don't know if that is reality, or I don't know if that is real, but something going on in Trinidad and Tobago, boy, something. I don't know what it is, you know, right? Yeah, Diana, Sharon just logged in.
No, hi Sharon.
Sharon Pocket, hi Diana, Ben Skin, boy. Diana, like one of your fans.
Yeah, we've been friends for years. That's one of my goddaughter's mother.
Oh, where's she joining us from?
Where you joining us from, Sharon?
She in Barbados?
No. Let her tell you. I know where she's joining you from, but let her tell you.
Sharon, where you joining us from? Where you come?
She's gonna type it in. Yeah.
Yeah, Lana said he go along, get along, gang boy. I know joke, you know. It's the truth, you know. They go along, get along, gang boy.
This whole
Steve Lopez asks, how come they get 80 vials of Pfizer vaccine? I don't know. Diana, she said from Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia on my mind.
Yeah. Tikisha joined us as well. Tikisha, pleasant good night to you as well, joining us for another
Hi,
one.
Cash. Hi, Tikisha.
Yeah. I don't know. Let me see if I could bring in Tommy here. Hold on. Tommy, you're inside. Tommy, you got Trini flag now, boy. Linda MG join us as well. Linda, welcome. I know what Tommy the Trini flag means. Tommy, welcome. How are you?
Good evening to my friends. I'm making a statement, country before party.
All right, I thought you were a Papa Abalizere, boy. What wrong with you? I thought you were a Abalizere. Tommy, you're not loyal, boy.
Wait. In Tommy's defense, he probably dyed the flag with the Balizé ink.
Tommy, pop your bellies in, man. Come on, man. What is that?
Ah,
You afraid to pop your bellies in?
Yeah,
Eh?
scared. I'm scared in my heart. I'm
You
scared in my
scared?
heart.
but
Yes, I'm scared.
Anslam, what going on in? Imagine you living down there
Mm,
and you waiting to get a vaccine,
mm,
and all this. You'd have dropped down dead, boy.
mm, mm,
I don't know. I
But,
don't know.
mm.
Yeah, Tommy, go
but,
ahead.
but looks like these vaccine they get in there wouldn't get them very far. And I don't know who else will buy it because if you don't want it, people vaccinated with it. And you know, two countries I read today, two places don't want to do anyone who's vaccinated with the Chinese vaccination. That's the EU and is it Saudi Arabia? I don't know.
I mean, you can't travel from if you're vaccinated with this Sinopharm vaccine. You know,
Yeah, that's
further oppression on Trinidad. Ansem, I don't know, no.
I don't know. I am. And they have a curfew Saturday to Sunday, 5 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Yeah, how are they gonna get food and stuff? And you just, oh my.
And I said, oh God, I got dead. Oh God, well, yes. I know joke, but the
almost
thing,
like
What do you mean? What do you mean? You're allowed to be outside 5 to 10, or you're not allowed to be outside 5 to 10?
but listen, I don't even know what them people and me no more.
I
Seriously, I don't know.
locking down people further away. Jesus, my word! It's like they're living in the the Socialist Republic of Trinidad and Tobago now.
Hmm.
We're bordering with teethering there, the Socialist Republic of and the people and the opposition is shutting them down. They can't say nothing. Although I think they should still be a formidable force.
Hmm.
Don't back down, because then you will have despotism in place. So you have to be you got to be like a tick on them.
Hmm.
Don't that's your job. But
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on in Trinidad and Tobago.
You're
I
allowed
don't
to be
know.
outside 5 a.m. to 10 a.m.
And then you got to go back inside.
But look at this. Look at this one, right? Look at this. Look at Antigua and Barbuda.
Yeah.
Antigua and Barbuda amongst world's safest destination. They have already opened back up for people that coming to Antigua and Barbuda. Imagine that.
Mm-hmm.
I I I don't know, boy. I really don't know, boy. I sorry for the people who live in Trinidad and Tobago now. I'm sorry for all you, right?
Yep.
Because let me read this. Let me read this real
Go
quickly.
ahead.
Antigua and Barbuda has continued its model tourism reopening with a new designation by the US CDC as a low-risk destination. Antigua and Barbuda has moved to level 1, the lowest risk level in the most recent travel advisory by the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And little Antigua and Barbuda,
Mm-hmm.
right? We supposed to be way ahead of Antigua and Barbuda. Antigua and Barbuda opening back up, right? And we trying to lock down everything in Trinidad and Tobago now.
Again. Again.
Hmm.
Again.
I and
Watch now. Cuba. Visitors will need a negative PCR test. Cuba. Taken within 72 hours of arrival, and then have to take another one upon arrival. You'll quarantine for 5 days before taking a third test. Know that you can't stay in a government hotel. You must have a non-US health insurance. Even Cuba open up with some sort of measure, Cuba. Haiti. Let me go to Haiti. Haiti. Visitors must have a negative PCR test within 72 hours of boarding or show proof that they have recovered from COVID-19 in the last 90 days. In addition, health declaration form must be at the hotel and temperature screenings may be performed at the airport. Haiti! Not that I'm downing on them, but we know their economic situation. Haiti has taken an innovative stance and opening up their country. What is wrong with Trinidad? What is going on in Trinidad?
Linda G says, my family in Trinidad just called me. They locked down all weekend. They're stressing big time. Shame on the government. Lana says, people getting desperate for food stuff in Trinidad and Tobago. Yet it seems like it's not a concern to the government. People stealing from supermarket farms. People garden, supermarket farms, people garden to feed themselves and their families. Right? And you don't hear the go along, get along gang talking about this, you know. The go along, let me tell you what the go along, get along gang will talk about. Eh? Let me show you what they go talk about. Watch, eh? This is what they go say. Sinopharm vaccines are arriving in Trinidad and Tobago. That's what the go along, get along gang will show you, right? So they can't say we didn't show it here in the village of that triplets. We show it to it. We show it. Of course we show it. You know, and it just seems every single day is something. Eh? And I want us to get to, you know, we expect Herbert Volney to be here with us soon, right? And we're going to talk to him too. But here is the Minister of Finance today on the 500,000 total vaccines that Trinidad's supposed to receive by
I saw a video circulating, created by the opposition, which juxtaposed the statements made by the Minister of Health in the Parliament in response to a question about Sinopharm vaccines just this week. And it juxtaposed statements I made at the press conference a month ago. Now, this press conference today is about what I'm talking about today. I don't mind going back to this issue because it's a topical issue. When I saw the video that was constructed obviously by some opposition person, and the whole point of the video was to show what I said and what the Minister of Health said, and try and prove that the Minister of Health was not speaking the truth, there was something odd about it. I didn't hear in the clip myself saying that the Minister of Health had ordered 1.5 million Sinopharm vaccines. The word Sinopharm was missing. So I said, all right. I went and I got the tape of my press conference in May the 9th or 10th, I think it was. And surprise, surprise, what I was saying in that press conference was that the government was looking at a series of sources of vaccines. You were looking at Pfizer vaccines, you were looking at AstraZeneca vaccines, you were looking at Sinopharm vaccines, and that the total amount of vaccines that were being ordered by the Ministry of Health at that time was in the range of $1.5 billion. And then I gave different prices. I said AstraZeneca is coming in below $5. Pfizer was looking at $23, and Sinopharm was $15, and we were trying to get that price down. So whoever did that video was very clever and very mischievous. What they did was take my statement about vaccines globally and pretend that I had said that the Minister of Health was ordering 1.5 million Sinopharm vaccines. I said no such thing. I said that was the total amount of all vaccines from all sources at that point in time. What I can tell you now is that the Ministry of Finance, on behalf of the Ministry of Health, has paid in full for the delivery of 500,000 Sinopharm vaccines in 2 batches so far. The first batch was 200,000, which arrived yesterday, And the second batch that we have paid for is supposed to be 300,000, which will come within a couple of weeks or so, I am told. But I'm not into the vaccine delivery side of things. I am into the payment. So my responsibility is to make sure we have money. So even though we had not yet drawn down on the Chinese loan, and we haven't done that yet, we haven't accessed those funds yet, we went ahead because this is so important, and we paid in full for 500,000 Sinopharm vaccines. So those are your facts. And just to tidy up that, the government received a donation of 100,000 Sinopharm vaccines previously. So the total amount of Sinopharm in the system at this point in time will be 600,000. Already 100 plus 200 received, and another 300 to be received shortly. I can't tell you the price because the government has signed a non-disclosure agreement with the government of China, but I can tell you the quantity, which I've just told you. Okay?
So there you have
What's the
it.
secret?
Huh?
Why
Them
is the secret?
fellas sign a non-disclosure agreement for vaccine, boy. Lord have his mercy.
Wow.
No,
But
now
if it is true that they doctored that audio video clip, that is mischievous indeed. If it is true, you shouldn't be doing that, because you should also let the truth be disseminated to the people. So
but
this
I don't know. I hear him say $1.5 million and 1.5 million vaccines. I don't know. I don't know which one he meant. Maybe he
okay.
meant 1.5 million vaccines. You know, I wasn't sure exactly what he meant when he said what he said just now. But listen to this. There was a report. Yeah, because they signed a non-disclosure agreement to Keisha. When you sign a non-disclosure agreement, it says that certain information cannot be disclosed. But why is the government signing a non-disclosure agreement? No,
With China.
not to be transparent with its citizens to tell them how much a vaccine costs.
With China.
If a vaccine costs $10, be transparent with the citizens of the country and tell them a vaccine costs 10. Anytime you see them type of things, they're hiding something.
And with China, I keep bringing China in there.
Yes. Yeah. So they're hiding something.
I don't. Tommy breaking up.
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Chinese have a plan afoot, and it's called a pandemic.
A pandemic.
And that's part of it.
Yeah, something is going on. I don't trust them, you know. And they did. I was like I said, I was reading something where the Latin America diaspora, which which includes the Caribbean, they recognize the sovereignty of Taiwan, and China is trying to either bait or, what's the word, for lack of a better word, smooth or smother these countries who recognize the sovereignty of Taiwan to go in the opposite direction. That is the gist I got from the article, because they have some sort of beef with Taiwan. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know why, and I'm always harping on them. Why would we, with China's record, it's documented, you can go and pull it up in credible sources. I ain't talking about TikTok videos, I'm talking about, BBC videos and, those credible people. You can pull it up. They don't have a good human rights history at all. Why do we want to be bedfellows, economic or otherwise, with a country who has such a terrible history of human rights? Why are we so hasty to getting into a non-disclosure agreements with them? And is there any law that the constituents of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago can take the incumbent to charge to find out, well, what is this going on here? Why are you signing an NDA? Who's benefiting? So something is going on. Something is afoot.
Yeah. And Tommy, if you want to be transparent with the citizen of the country,
You won't have no NDA.
signing an NDA to me seems that there is something being hidden. You are spending taxpayers' money, and you signing an NDA. That's taxpayers' money you are spending, and you signing an NDA with China, right? I mean, but you know, the go along get along gang will tell you, well, hey, they have to sign an NDA because they mightn't get the vaccine from China. Well, then go to Russia
or Cuba.
Or Cuba. Russia or Cuba will willingly send you a vaccine. And then this kind of rhetoric again, we only WHO approve. You understand? Look, this kind of madness. Look, let me listen to this. Let me listen to what Weon has to say about the Chinese vaccine. Take a listen.
Made in China, accept it or not, but for many of us, this label has become synonymous with low cost and low quality. How true is this stereotype? And what has China done to deserve such a bad reputation? A lot. The list is long. The latest item on it is this. China has sold vaccines to the world. Vaccines which may not be working. Let's show you China's vaccine map. It is currently exporting vaccines to 43 countries. A total of 742 million doses have been sold, 22 million doses have been donated, 262 million doses have been delivered. China is exporting 3 major vaccines, Sinovac, 𝗪𝗪𝗏 and 𝗪𝗵𝗲. So far, so good. Now, the million-dollar question, do these vaccines even work? Well, you can start by asking Mongolia. More than half of their population has been fully vaccinated, but daily infections have risen by more than 70% in the last 2 weeks. Which vaccine is Mongolia using? China's 𝗪𝗵𝗲. Forget herd immunity, they're dealing with surging cases. No wonder Mongolians are questioning the effectiveness of Chinese shots, and they're not the only ones. Bahrain too is witnessing a surge. There's a sharp rise in the number of infections, and this is despite high levels of inoculation. How do you explain this? China's 𝗪𝗵𝗲 accounts for 60% of the inoculations, 60%. Do you know what Bahrain is doing now? Administering a Pfizer booster shot. This is for those who have received 2 doses of the Chinese vaccine. It's an embarrassing state of affairs for China, and it keeps getting worse. In the Seychelles, 61% of the people have been fully vaccinated, and they have a population of just about 100,000 people. This island nation had the highest vaccination cover globally. Last month, it was ruptured. Daily average cases rose to 400, with 37% of the fresh infections reported in fully vaccinated people. Which vaccine had been given to these people? China's 𝗪𝗵𝗲. And then we come to the UAE, the United Arab Emirates. It has vaccinated more than 38% of the population, with more than 51% having got the first dose. And yet, daily new cases exceeded 1,700 a few weeks back. And here too, 𝗪𝗵𝗲 was the main vaccine being administered. Now the Emirates is questioning the efficacy of the Chinese vaccine and giving a Pfizer booster shot to 𝗪𝗵𝗲 recipients. And we're not done yet. In the month of May, the president of the Philippines apologized for taking a 𝗪𝗵𝗲 shot. That's not all. He sent the doses back to China. Why did he do this? Because Filipinos do not want 𝗪𝗵𝗲. They say the Chinese cure is unproven. Next on this list is Saudi Arabia. It has refused to recognize vaccination certificates of Sinovac and 𝗪𝗵𝗲. It is recommending Pfizer and AstraZeneca instead. Well, what do they say about such things? Once is chance, twice is coincidence, third time is a pattern, and here we have more than 3 instances. So questions are bound to arise. Why are so many countries wary of the Chinese shot? Why are cases surging despite full vaccination? Are Chinese vaccines really substandard? Do they work in China at least? Not very well, it seems. There's a fresh outbreak. New infections are being reported in the Guangdong province, with its capital Guangzhou accounting for 90% of the confirmed cases. Health authorities there blame the Delta variant, the one that was first identified in India. And this could be true. But then again, it could also be false, given China's track record of blaming every internal crisis on external factors. So vaccine or variant, we don't know what is to blame. But here's what we can confirm. A strict lockdown has been imposed here. Overseas arrivals are being quarantined. Millions have once again been forced indoors. And we thought that China had conquered the pandemic and thrown a party to celebrate its victory. Here's the thing. The Wuhan virus is unpredictable. It keeps mutating. It keeps spreading. Vaccines are not foolproof in preventing infection. But if one vaccine has repeatedly proven to be ineffective, if it repeatedly faces scrutiny, then it may be time for some reflection. WZYE is now available.
Boy, I don't know what to say now, because maybe 𝗧𝗵𝗲 is better than nothing, but
I don't know, 𝗪𝗵𝘁𝗀𝗽𝗽. I don't know. The non-disclosure agreement have me worried. And then now we're hearing, India is saying they're closer in the region, so obviously they would get, the news and stuff. But China is good at concealing things, Yeah, I know. Now they're saying, I saw quickly on the news where a caption went across. They're saying that they implied that the virus did get away from a lab. And I'm like, oh, Lord, Father, we don't need that now, Lord.
Well, Diana, as you say that, listen to this one, right? I was just have things saying down here in the background sometimes, just in case, right? You said about this, right? So listen to this report here with respect to lab leaks. I've had this now sitting in the back, for about 2 weeks, I think.
That brings us to the story we've been bringing you since last year, the lab leak theory. For more than a year now, we've been reporting on this. For almost a month now, the world has been waking up to it. There is growing circumstantial evidence against the Wuhan lab in China and growing consensus on why it needs to be investigated further. American intelligence officials are investigating. It is believed that this lab was conducting risky research into bat coronaviruses. And this is not the first such case. Viruses have leaked from Chinese labs in the past, so the lab leak theory cannot be dismissed just yet. But let's take it one step further. Have you ever wondered how many such laboratories exist in China? How many such facilities are there in the world? Such labs that conduct dangerous experiments with viruses? What's the possibility of another deadly virus leaking from another lab? Why do these labs exist? How safe are we from lab leaks? Over the past few days, we did some research, we spoke to some experts and also found some assessments, and we can tell you that the results paint a rather scary picture. The Wuhan lab is not an exception. There are several such labs in the world. They are in urban centers and they're prone to leaks. Let me show you something. Look carefully at this map. Our world today has as many as 59 such laboratories, 59. And this list includes labs that are currently operational, the ones that are under construction, and the projects that are still in the planning stage. 59 of them. They're spread across 23 countries. Here's a breakdown. The largest concentration of such labs is in Europe. They have 25 of them. In these countries, Belarus, the Czech Republic, France, Germany, Hungary, Italy, Sweden, Switzerland, and the United Kingdom. Russia, too, has one such lab. The next major concentration is in North America. This region has 14 laboratories. They're split between the US and Canada. The United States has 12 labs. Canada has 2. Asia has 13 labs in all. They're in China, Japan, South Korea, Singapore, and Taiwan. China has 3 of them. India, too, has 3 such labs. What about West Asia? Only one such lab in West Asia. It's in Saudi Arabia. Australia has 4 labs. Africa has 3 labs. 1 each in South Africa, Gabon, and Côte d'Ivoire. So no major region is without a high security lab, a quote-unquote high security lab. These are Biosafety Level 4 labs, also called BSL4, Biosafety Level 4. This is the highest security classification, Level 4. It means that these labs can be used to study dangerous viruses and pathogens, disease-causing organisms. But here's a question. Are these labs equipped to handle dangerous research? Do they have the safety standards in place to ensure such viruses do not leak? Who is regulating them? Do they all follow similar safety protocols? The short answer to all these questions is no. And scientists are raising red flags, have been raising red flags for a while. There are three clear reasons why scientists the world over are worried. Number one, security is a problem in most of these laboratories. Number two, most of these labs are in urban centers in highly populated areas. And number three, most countries do not have clear laws to regulate risky research. Let's take them one by one. First of all, security. Look at this assessment on your screen. It is by Non-Profit Nuclear Threat Initiative. And this is what it says. Only 6 countries out of the 23 that we just mentioned, only 6 countries have high levels of biosafety preparedness. 6 out of 23. These labs are the most secure. These include countries like the United States and the United Kingdom. Then we have labs in 11 countries which have quote-unquote a medium rating. This means a lax or weak security arrangement. Chinese labs are in this category. And then we have 5 countries with low levels of security. This list includes South Africa. So security is a concern. The second issue is the location of such laboratories. They're in urban centers. And they could directly put large populations at risk. 75% of all labs in the world are located in urban centers, which means higher risk of infection traveling wider. It also means a large number of people may get infected in case of a leak. Problem number 3, regulation or the lack of it. Just 3 out of 23 countries that host these high security labs have serious oversight. Let me explain this. A big concern is the military use of highly secure labs. Are they only doing research or are they creating potential bioweapons? Who is going to check this? Just 3 countries have oversight on research and its potential military use.
See, Diana, man,
Very good.
I tell you.
See?
That's
what I'm saying.
Yeah, boy. Yeah. I mean, you know, when
Tommy's saying something, but he's breaking up. Listen to him.
you say educate them. When you come into the village, you know, we want you to, you know, get some brain food when you leave. You know what I mean? So that is kind of sad, man. Really and truly.
Yep.
You know, I mean, Dana, you talked about leaks. You know, security in these labs, boy, and you know the sad thing is that a lot of these labs are in urban areas, right? They're in urban areas, right? But Dana, I didn't know this. You know, I didn't know that. Let me remove that thing. I didn't know that vaccines were halal.
What?
Yeah, vaccines are halal. So because there was some discussion with respect to the Muslims taking the vaccines, and they said that vaccines are halal, and that's so the Muslims and them can take it. I mean, that was kind of news, boy. Yeah. Did anyone know that? Huh?
No.
Yeah. Huh? It's the way they drain the blood from whatever the animal is. They have a certain way that they drain it to make it halal, right? It's like, you know, you go into some butcher store, they say halal meat. You know, they drain it in a certain way, you know, to make it halal. So I guess whatever, if there's any meat in the vaccine, it has to be drained a certain way to make it halal. You know, so
oh boy.
it's interesting.
Oh.
Interesting, eh? Very interesting. And so there was this article, right? I know we were talking about. It says that Saudi Arabia and the EU bars travelers who received Chinese vaccine. So, and the article says, despite its quick and responsive supply chain, Chinese vaccines are not seen as effective by EU and Saudi Arabia. As some countries ease COVID-19 travel restriction, Saudi Arabia and the European Union has barred travelers who have been vaccinated with the Chinese vaccine, leaving out the biggest group of foreign visitors in the region. Last week, Saudi Arabia updated its travel restriction, which included requirements to take Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson in order to enter the country, leaving out China's 5 vaccines, including the widely used Sinovac and Sinopharm. After the announcement, Pakistan Foreign Ministry on Sunday asked the kingdom to include Chinese vaccines to its list, as those vaccines are widely used in the country. So there is a possibility that if you are in Trinidad and you take the Sinopharm vaccine,
that's what I said. Yep.
When time comes for you to travel out of the country and to go to some of these countries,
further oppression.
Cancel Christmas. You can't. So,
yep, I said it. Further oppression. So the only place you'll be able to travel to with that vaccine is China.
China.
The real good.
Okay. So you see the conspiracy unfolding here. You see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
But I want to ask a question. I don't know if this is true. People have indicated, this is the Minister of Agriculture's wife, 𝗪𝗵𝗁 𝗪𝗵𝘁𝗀𝗽𝗽.
Okay.
And this came from her Facebook page, in that she was vaccinated with Pfizer. So, unless
I'm going to tell, but I'm not going to tell you who. Of someone I know personally told me, and I am inclined to believe this individual because they're a certain member of society, that they got their first shot of, I think it was Pfizer.
They get the first shot of Pfizer?
Weeks ago.
You mean so they were in America and they get the first shot of Pfizer?
No, Trinidad.
They're in the army. Then they're in the army. They get one of them.
No. I don't want to call.
I think we want to use alleged. I think we want to use alleged.
And I don't think this person would, because of, I'm not going to call him because of their in society. They tell me it's either Moderna or the Pfizer. They got their first shot and they're waiting on the second shot now.
In Trinidad?
Yes. When they told me that, I said, wow, I documented in my head and documented on a piece of paper, stick out a post-it like this. I said, And then when I saw that story leaked about vaccines coming in, I said,
That's interesting.
Where did they get this Pfizer from?
Maybe before the army got theirs, maybe they shipped a few to somebody else in Trinidad and Tobago.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
But here's the CMO. Even the CMO, I think the CMO was asked a question on Sinopharm. Here's the CMO.
Seeking to get some clarity with the Sinopharm vaccine. We are being told that persons who take the Sinopharm vaccine will not be able to travel to the UK. Can you shed some light on that to say whether it is true or not? Okay.
All right, so the Sinopharm vaccine is, as you know, a WHO-approved vaccine. Every country in the world has its right to say, being a sovereign state, as to who can travel to their country. At this point in time, our policy in Trinidad and Tobago is to give a WHO-approved vaccine as best practice to the population of the country, and that is what we will continue to do based on availability. It would depend on which one of the WHO-approved vaccines we're giving. So I can't comment on any country's restriction as it relates to incoming. But again, it really is there needs to be some due diligence on the part of the individual traveling prior to traveling to ensure that you look into the country's requirements, and then of course you do your due diligence on your personal part.
Oh God.
Trinidad and Tobago, right? It has become, and I hate to, and people are going to agree with me or disagree, a society of the haves and they have nothing.
They have and they have nothing.
They have and they have nothing. Because why I say that answer? I'm not downing on my people. I'm not downing on anyone, because I come from have nothing. Look what what the administration has reduced. It's women folk too. Going into grocery store and stealing because you, the incumbent, have not put a strategical social net system in place to catch these individuals. That woman didn't have to go into no grocery store and steal. That is how Venezuela began to fall and crumble. When you have to start stealing for food, then you realize how dire a situation is, When you have to steal, because why? You can't work, you have the population they're frustrated. I'm speaking now as a Trinbagonian living there. They're frustrated. You're locked down, and in their head psychologically, they're in jail already. They're not safe. They're afraid to get sick. Look how there was a quote by either Mandela or look how a society treats its elderly. You will know what kind of society it is. Look how y'all treat the elderly people. Had them go in the rain and the sun. No proper accommodations for them to sit. Come on. And y'all get how much $1 billion from China? Y'all couldn't set up tents and chairs and have bottled waters and stuff. No strategies in place. And you have brilliant minds like Dr. Faith Israel wasting away. Why? All because she is of a different political persuasion. Now that is all ego. Ego driving y'all. Y'all not coming together and using y'all educate Dr. Faith for her to go on about her business and go and study public health. I believe that's what she said. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Faith. She got her degree in her, right? Why are you not using her skills? Because she has a different political affiliation? Come on. Y'all gotta drop that ego nonsense. Just stop it. Let her work on behalf of her fellow Trinbagonians. Draw upon her knowledge. She is full of knowledge, and she's just wasting away while y'all bungle the vaccine situation. Yeah, I said it. Y'all need to stop this ego trip you're on. Come off of it. Extend an olive branch to people around you and get the thing done, get people back to work, so women don't have to go into stores and steal food. That's what you brought your citizens to, stealing food, Dr. Rowley. Somebody take it.
Diana, Albert Montano, welcome. Albert, who is DJ? Albert said DJ. I don't know who is DJ. I don't know. Maybe he was answering that. Who is DJ, Albert? Put it in the chat.
Jasper. Maybe he's referring to somebody named Jasper. I don't know that I know.
No, DJ. I don't know a DJ Bravo. It has been, Linda G said it's been that way for a long time. COVID they're showing.
Showing it up. Thank you. And I'm going to reference it. Yes, it's a social comorbidity that COVID has been able to bring to the surface. Yes, you're absolutely right. The person that put that in the chat. You're absolutely right. Yes, Linda MG. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
All of them Marvis Benskin, you are quite right. Albert Montano says, Diana, this is a heartless government.
Albert. Go ahead, Tommy.
I'm saying that there's an ongoing abuse of power that affects the populace that has to stop. Those who have power abuse it from Trinidad and Tobago continuously. And I've been saying that from day one.
Linda MG. You see that comment you put in there, Linda? Linda MG says, they don't want persons who think for themselves.
Absolutely right.
Linda, you are full 100 on that comment. That's why the PNM only want people who are not MPs, who are part of the Go Along, Get Along PNM gang. If you are not part of that Go Along, Get Along PNM gang, right, they go try to discredit you. They go try to dismiss you. They go try to demonize you. Right? If you are not part of that Go Along, Get Along PNM gang. You see? And with people like me, and I'm an example, being that I am not part of the Go Along, Get Along PNM gang is all kind of thing. Always good night, man. Welcome. It's all kind of thing. All right, Albert, no problem. That was a mistake. Rose says there is so many hungry people. There is so many hungry people around in my village today. I bake bread and share around for quite a number. Let me put this quote up. I bake bread and share around for quite a number of them. This government have many people starving. Diana, you touch people's soul. Keisha says they are heartless government. Mark Daniel says, God bless you, my dear. Really nice of you. Right? Linda McGee said they will spit you out like a plum seed. What?
Yep. They're heartless. And you know what? When I saw elderly man sitting there on the hot pavement. While this man has contributed in one way or the other to the infrastructure building of Trinidad and Tobago, and you treat your elderly citizen like that, just on the side of the road, sitting down any which way. These people are not too techno savvy. Okay, so they come out and they want to get a vaccine. You tell them to come out and get a vaccine. They're following your lead, but you're leading them astray, Dr. Rowley. You're leading them astray. Come on.
Diana, I have said people misunderstand when I said Dr. Rowley is a genius.
Yes, he's confusing you.
The man is a genius. I'm telling all you, All right? All you mark my word. I am saying to the population of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley is a genius. The guy is excellent. He's excellent. And people believe his every single word. Right? The man went on TV and said 10% of our people come home on our flight was positive for COVID-19. And I hear people commenting that, them excellent stranded citizens, plenty of them when they come home, they're positive for COVID-19. But we had that's why there was so much fear in Trinidad and Tobago with respect to excellent stranded citizens.
Now you're giving them fear of the vaccine and fear of the virus and fear of going outside. They're running on fear, the emotion of fear, and that is not good. And when you control people from a stance of fear, they're gonna do anything. They're gonna do anything you say, and that is what's going on there. If he tell them if they come and they're gonna just gain saline water inside a vial, he tell them it's a vaccine, they gonna take it because they're fearful.
Yeah, Mark says I give away producer my garden when I have.
Yay.
Ulrich say Ulrich who? Sometimes I don't understand how Ulrich did. Ulrich, who won the attack again?
Oh my God.
Ulrich, who won the attack, Ulrich? Ulrich, I feel you ain't take your pill today, you know. I feel so.
Yeah, game up. Go take a Cafanol or something.
Diana Benskin, the senior citizens get the best treatment when voting day comes.
Yep.
Oh God! All ain't easy, though. All ain't easy.
I bet you.
Oh God!
And I told them, I said, when next election time come, you're gonna see the niceties. And I remember, I wrote a poem, Your Golden Ballot, and that's what got me into the Martha's Vineyard Creative Institute of Writing. The virtual part of it is over. I have to go up there in person, to be shown around stuff. And the Golden Ballot, in it, I addressed these people as political gangsters. Because that's all they are, because I was seeing it here, played out here, right? I said, but you don't know me. You know the struggles in my community, but yet you show up on a picture on my TV telling me of a bright future, right? But you don't understand the struggles I go through every day. Where's Dr. Rowley? Is he going around the country, or the incumbents going around the country and reaching out to their constituents in some sort of calming way? What's really going on? Only when election time comes, you're going to see him up in 𝗪𝗵𝘁𝗃.
In 𝗪𝗵𝘁𝗃, even during election time, them don't go up there in 𝗪𝗵𝘁𝗃. Look Ulrich again. Ulrich said they want to stop NIS pension. Ulrich, they don't want to stop NIS pension. They want to move the age from 60 to 65, Ulrich. Even I know that. Oh God, Ulrich, man. Oh God, Ulrich, man.
Come with the right facts. Come with the
right facts now, man. Oh God. And,
so here,
Ulrich, you in Trinidad, right?
But Anselm, that is not a good thing, because as you get older, you become more susceptible to certain things. How you gonna have a 62-year-old with high blood pressure and stuff still going to work? I mean, I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't suffer from them things, thank you, Lord. But in a society, so they got to get up and hustle to get to this job. And if they have a job, and hustle, and then they only hire them on contract. I don't understand that society at all, man. It's a kind of, they don't give no regard for human life or yourself, a human person. You're easily dispensable. You're approaching the top of the hour, answer.
Yeah. But Diana, we get kicked out of the Ministry of Finance press conference again. Oh God! They sent me no invitation for this press conference. You might mute, Diana.
Sorry, who cares?
No, I don't care. I don't care. It just shows the real them people on them. It just shows them that in spite of what you're all trying to do, and you're trying to censor the media, because we asked all your critical questions. Because I was looking to say, if I was on that today, I would have asked 𝗪𝗵𝗁, how many of those 30,000 people that have applied for that grant have received any grant? I want to know how many of them.
Yep.
But anyway, folks, it's in the village with the dark triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. What we're gonna do, we're gonna go for a quick break, and we're gonna be right back with you. Of course, we have with us tonight, we have DAG, we have Diana, we have Ansem, and I'm sure the Phantom will join us at some point in time. And we also have Tommy, who we consider to be the outside child. So let's yeah. I'll get that one after we come. Let's just after the top of the hour, we're gonna bring Stalin help. All right, so let's go for a quick break, and we'll be right back. Let me put this up here.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey. The most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
And of course, let's bring in Stalin here, boy. Stalin had to tell us, because in Trinidad and Tobago today, boy, plenty people need this, what Stalin is telling us about. Stalin, you know, and we hope Stalin is all well. So let's get Stalin in here. You know, we love Stalin too bad. Don't worry, Stalin coming, he coming.
feeling the pain, we can't take the pressure. Pain, we crying. Somebody got to do something. Right now we really need a Messiah to take we out of this big disaster. For everything at all, look, we try it all in vain. Rich or poor, black or white, we feeling this pain. St. James, Belmont, Citrus, and Diablo. Somebody gotta do something. Somebody gotta fix something. Somebody do something. Somebody gotta run something. Calm down. Only losses today and no gain. Hell, fire. Somebody got to ease up the pressure. Like nobody seems to care about the poor. All them rich people close up the door. And who have the head to carry me through and through. Only care about themselves. And that's for me and you and you know. Then dance. Belmont, Labyrinth, Arima. Somebody gotta run something. Somebody gotta fix something. Somebody do something.
Yes, this is Sound. How are you? Did you get the link?
I'm still hearing you.
Blues, we take it. Nobody seems to care about this suffering. Heartaches, we get it. Sometimes it makes me feel like revolting. This thing keep going on year after year. How much more could poor people care? Somebody got to put their But who don't care in the long run, going to feel. Rio Claro, Enterprise, Candy Grande, Sando, somebody, 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 somebody run something. Somebody gotta do something.
Somebody got to do something, boy.
Help! Murder! Somebody gotta ease up the pressure.
And look how long Black Stalin sing that song, eh? Years ago, you know.
Yes,
ago,
yes, yeah.
Years ago. You know, I mean, it's Lana says if the workforce is full with people wanting to reach 65 to resign, what will happen to the younger ones who are looking for jobs but no opening anywhere for them to get a job? They will have to migrate. Yes. This government real verse at creating false illusion and narrative. Mark Daniel says, so if Stalin and them sing about certain hardship, then oppression happened long time in here, boy.
long time, Mark.
Long time. Albert Montano says, Stalin is talking to Trinidadians, but many not listening. True, you know?
Yep.
I know, joke, boy. Tekicha says, this kind of heartless crime take place in this country and the government is not even addressing it. Fathers for taking COVID seriously. All their concern is about placing fear and dictating the people of this country. And when you try to stand up for what is right, they try to tarnish your character. It's time some people wipe that yampy out their eyes.
Oh, the Balizer yampy.
Hey, don't talk about my party.
The problem is not a party problem, it's a Trinidad problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's who is in power.
Is your guest coming on or no?
Yeah, he's supposed to come in 5 minutes. I agree with Ulrich, that is true, you know. That's very true, you know. Dr. Rowley and them don't come to love until not even for election.
All right, then.
Yeah. That full 100 there, you know. We finally agree on something. Hey, you know.
But yet they go and put the finger in his bank though. Yeah, all you go put all the finger in that bank. And that man don't come to love until he cares not. I saw Fitzy stand up the other day giving them some thing by a street corner. I said, oh, Fitzy in the neighborhood, boy, I wonder what we talking about? But I couldn't, you know.
No, yeah, he was in Basilon Terrace. And Keely and them was around and he was talking about, and he had a fellow who was supposedly a gangster and he trying for them to put down the guns because it looked like the gang was starting up again. So he went in. That was a good thing that he actually went in there and was trying to do something. But Albert Montano says, remember Sparrow Calypso, they like it so.
Yeah.
He says,
they tell you we like it all the time.
Yeah. So we have with us Herbert Volney. Let me bring in Herbert Volney in here. Mr. Volney, welcome to WZYE 95.9 FM. And you are in the village with the dark triplets. You have with us Diana. We also have with us 𝗵𝗵𝗁, and we have with us Tommy. This is in the village with the dark triplets. And we're missing 1/3 of the dark triplets. That's a young man by the name of Gary. So welcome, sir. How are you doing today?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing fine.
Yeah, you know, is it Mr. Volney or
Herbert?
All right. No, we are very respectful. You see us say in America, we are very respectful. Eh? We like to ask people how they like to be called. We don't. It's very important.
My name is I'm formally known as Justice Volney, but most people know me as Judge because I was a judge up to a few years ago.
How long were you a judge, Mr. Volney?
16 years.
16 years. Yeah, yeah. So I saw your last Facebook post, your last Facebook live, and you kind of said that you were disappointed because you voted for Terrence 𝗪𝗟. Am I correctly stating that, or am I incorrect?
Well, you're partly correct. It's not a question of I kind of said that. It's a matter that I said that. I am very disappointed, and I deeply regret the error that I made in voting for Terrence 𝗪𝗟, especially, doing so as a former cabinet minister and supporter of the United National Congress, the People's Partnership, really.
So you are now non-affiliated, or
I am, as we used to say in the 1970s, I am non-aligned. I am my own man.
Also, so you could speak freely now.
Freely. I am totally emancipated. And I couldn't give two hoots about whose toe I step on.
Okay. So what is your position on the opposition leader's statement regarding the mentioning the 1990 coup? What's your position on that?
I wrote something in similar vein today, which you obviously have not seen. I am quite a prolific writer on social media in Trinidad and Tobago. And while I didn't mention her, I told my, not followers as such, but the people who I engage daily, that when people get hungry, they're going to come down from the hills like ants come down from the high ground to find water. And it's going to be trouble when that balance gets there, when persons who are hungry, and there are tens of thousands of them today in Trinidad and Tobago, when they, on balance, they prefer to take their chance with stealing and finding food for their children, their families. They balance that against 3 square meals at the Golden Grove facility in jail. And I don't blame them, because hunger is real. And when people are kept away from their livelihood in order to be compliant with regulations that they have not been party to, that are debilitating towards them, it's a recipe for a 1990 insurrection. And in that regard, while it is that I don't care to speak about Mrs. 𝗪𝗪 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗔 these are circumstances that are very disturbing to me as a politicist and as a former judge and former politician.
Mr. Volney, why would you want to have a dormant volcano erupt by putting that into the public domain, being that what's going on in Trinidad and Tobago now? Yes, people are suffering, people are seeing hardship, but why put one of the most difficult times in the history of Trinidad and Tobago into people's mind, being that they are going through now? It's like a volcano sitting there dormant, and all of a sudden certain things start to happen with that volcano, and that volcano erupts. Why put that into the public domain at this point in time?
My colleagues used to call me Volcanic Volney. I am a volcano in myself. I am one who speaks to social and legal justice. And when I see that the government has failed to listen to the people, to the informed public, it is not that I seek to inflame anything, but I seek to elucidate their thinking along the right way, that they have to do something to feed the people, and to feed the people now before they get hungrier. Otherwise, there will be serious consequences. It's not that I'm seeking to inflate, to start anything, but it's going to happen unless the government does something about it.
So, Mr. Volney, you are agreeing with the statement of Mrs. 𝗪𝗲 𝗟𝗧𝗦.
Why don't you put it the other way around? She is agreeing with my statement.
Well, I didn't see your statement.
Well, my statement was in the public domain before hers. And it's obvious to me that she reads, as does the Prime Minister. They read what I write. Because I am a man who has a lot of people who follow what I say, who read what I write. And I've come over the years in public life to know that the pen is as dangerous as is the gun.
So I've seen, Diana, if you want to jump in, Diana, you can jump in at any time.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. And Tommy as well. So I've seen in the public domain where people in Trinidad have been on both sides of the issue with respect to whether they believe Mrs. 𝗪𝗲 𝗟𝗧𝗦 is trying to incite, a rebellion in Trinidad and Tobago, by invoking the coup 1990. And there are other people who say, a statement is not one of, her trying to incite, a coup that happened in 1990. But it seemed to me that you are saying that based on what's going on in the country, there's a possibility that could happen again due to what's happening in the country today.
In 1990, if you would recall, conditions were politically charged. And you had this group, this secular group of radical Islamists led by Yasin Abu Bakr. The 1990 insurrection was to overthrow the government. What Mrs. 𝗵𝗫𝗍 and I can say I speak to is not any incitement, but it is speaking truth to facts, and to warn the government and the authorities that hungry people are angry people. And they have to be mindful of this and the dangers that lurk and the strife that can come when hungry and angry people come down to the ground, come down to the plain from the heights, from the mountains, to look for food and to take the food. I have personally seen years ago a busload of people coming out of Laventille, walking to a grocery in Maraval where I was shopping at the time. They picked up what they wanted. They were on their way to Maracas Bay. There were about 30 of them. And they just walked out. And the owner was right there, and I asked her, what are you going to do about it? And she said, there is nothing I can do about it. I have to take my bounce. And there will come a time very soon when people are going to do that, because when they are hungry and they come down in their numbers, there's no way that the commissioner of police can stop them, because this is something that is going to happen nationwide unless the government smells the coffee and gets food to the poor and needy, not at the end of June, but now. It should have been yesterday. So this talk of incitement, of insurrection directed at Mrs. 𝗪𝗂 is garbage. It is political garbage. I was a judge. I know what incitement is.
No, Mr. Volney, we take questions from people in our chat, okay? It's up to you whether you want to answer the questions or not, okay? So
long as they are respectful.
Yeah, the first question is up on the pod. It says, Mr. Volney, do you ever regret your judgment in the matter with Brad Boyce?
No, I don't.
Okay, you know what? Thank you so much. I appreciate your honesty in answering the question. Here is another question. A person says, did you know after your judgment over Brad Boyce, he was charged in Australia for a similar crime?
I don't follow the fate of people who come in my court. How would I know that? But it is disheartening to hear that the opportunity that he had as a result of the Privy Council not sending his matter back for retrial, that he has not used it properly.
Okay.
I hope that those who are asking those questions, which were largely put to rest by the constituents of St. Joseph in 2010, when it was a political issue on my platform, and the people overwhelmingly came out and voted for me in a landslide victory, had put that matter to rest. And it is pure, low and cheap politics of those who still call that word Brad Boyce to me. They must understand that I was sitting as a judge. I had a similar decision to make as appeared in the George Floyd case when it came to causation and cause of death. And there were two different prognoses put forward by two different people. And I needed to decide the issue, which was a judge's issue, on whether I should have accepted the evidence of an unknown purported forensic pathologist. And I asked the state for evidence, which they did not produce. And I took it upon myself to take the decision that I did. The Privy Council, they criticized how I got to do it, not that I had done it.
Thank you so much. And then I jump in. Here is another question, Mr. Volney. Mr. Volney, what are your feelings about Section 34?
I was the architect, the sole architect of Section 34. There was no one in the Parliament who at that time had 16 years of experience in the criminal assize courts in Trinidad and Tobago as I had. And I was quite conscious of the hundreds of young black men, largely 95% black, who were languishing in prison in the remand yard without bail, without trial, most of them would have likely won their cases. Or if their matter had come up early, they might have pleaded guilty and served out a full sentence. And it is in that context that I engineered Section 34 to give them, to level the playing field with the Director of Public Prosecutions, to get him to bring their matters up. Otherwise, they could apply to a judge to have them tossed out, except in blood crimes, rape, murder, kidnapping. And that was the intention. And I have absolutely no regret. And I was supported by every member of the PNM bench, both in the House of Representatives and in the Senate, who voted for it unanimously. That's Section 34, right? And it was only because two persons who the DPP had not brought to my attention would have been impacted as regards the state's prosecution, after my permanent secretary had written to him asking him these questions. It was only after those two people made the application in a matter that is now over 20 years and it hasn't come out of the magistrate's court yet, that the PNM saw, and I'm now starting to realize that your audience is largely PNM supporters. From
No.
No. I discern it from the questions.
No. Mr. Volney,
It is
let me say this to
only
you.
when the PNM saw an opportunity to get at what was then a successful People's Partnership agenda and government that they grabbed at it and went behind me. Okay? They grabbed at it and went behind me. They got me.
Mr. Volney, let me say this, right?
Yes.
I am a supporter of the PNM. However, in this radio program,
yeah,
we may have more people who are supporting the opposition than supporting the PNM.
I couldn't care less, you know.
No, I'm just saying you.
Observation.
No, but I'm just.
In the last general election, I voted for Terence Dayal Singh.
Yeah, I understand that, but I just wanted to correct you with regards to the audience here on WZYE 95.9 FM.
I stand corrected.
Wonderful, because I'm a supporter of the PNM, you know. But and Mr. Volney, listener, I bring you on here. We like to bring people on here. We really don't care what party you support. We want to come and get information. So what you are giving us here is information. Another person has another question for you, Mr. Volney. It says, bills and more bills, debts and more debts. They don't care, Mr. Volney. Once they are guarded, that all matters to them. I don't know if you want to address that.
Bills and more bills.
Bills, debts and more debts. They don't care, Mr. Volney. Once they are guarded, that's all that matters to them.
I wouldn't say so. I appreciate the work of Mr. Faris Al-Rawi. I appreciate the work of 𝗪𝗪𝗄𝗣 Dolly, the Minister of Education, of 𝗪𝗵𝘁𝗀𝗽𝗪 a lot of these bills that are brought before Parliament are basically necessary bills. There hasn't been any landmark bills in Parliament since when I was the Minister of Justice, and I brought groundbreaking bills to Parliament, like electronic bracelets, DNA legislation, all of which were passed unanimously in the Parliament. I don't get credit for it, but it's okay. No. The government's job is to bring bills to Parliament.
Mr. Volney, another question here. Mr. Volney,
I have a question.
Let me just ask this, Dan, and then I'm going to get to you. Mr. Volney, is the judiciary system failing?
The judiciary is akin to a car driving on 4 flat tires.
Whoa.
It is moving, but it's getting not very far. It's not producing. I mean, speaking of my time as a public prosecutor in the 1980s and my time as a judge between 1994 and 2010, you would pick up the Guardian on page 3 and 4 were full stories of action, cases being tried, people being convicted of murder, of rape, that sort of thing. You don't see that again. When last you heard of a murder conviction in our courts? The judiciary has grinded to a halt. The civil side has been more or less performing fairly well. But the thing about it is that I have a problem with the constitutional side of the civil jurisdiction, where I have noticed a tendency for judges who largely have worked come from the Solicitor General's department, finding only for the government. And that tells of an illness in the system. And that tells that judges are being picked out despite all the systems that they have put in place. They are being picked out to deal with certain matters. And that bothers me.
Diana?
Mr. Volney hit on a point that I have been harping on this program for the long. This is Diana Benskin, sir.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Likewise, I am a resident author, poet.
Oh, great.
So I feel the pulse of things and I report on it with my pen.
Yes.
The disparity that we see unfolding as a social comorbidity from this pandemic in Trinidad and Tobago, do you believe that this has been in existence for a long time, but the bungling of COVID by the incumbent has really shown that there are no systems that are working in place that will capture, the poor people, that really look out for the poor people, and it is really a system that engages and has a safety net in place for the 1%, and the 99%, let them fend for themselves, let them eat cake.
No, that is a hell of a ball a batsman has to face.
But you sound like you was an opening batsman, man. If you play cricket,
it's right on the spot. If you don't get your bat in place, you're gone. Well, let me tell you from the outset, both as a judge and as a government minister, I opted to go into the public health hospital system. I had cardiac issues, and I have always shown confidence in the public health system. Of course, I got special treatment because I was a high-ranking government official. But the quality of care that I saw and that I had would suggest to me that, and I went around the ward that I had been, and there weren't any 1% people inside of there. There were regular folks getting the same treatment from the doctors who were walking around every morning and in the evening. I think, however, that the record keeping of the hospitals when it comes to people with comorbidities is outrageous and falls short, because they should have had the database to be able to identify those who are most vulnerable to COVID and to address their cause before inoculating younger, stronger folks who are getting the vaccine and surviving, while those with comorbidities that who have been in the system, still in the line, and who are dying, you know, I think I may have answered your question.
Mr. Volney, another question. Somebody asked, are you getting a pension?
I'm getting a damn good pension as a judge. It's tax-free, actually.
It's tax-free?
It's tax-free because all the
Wow.
perks of a judge are tax-free, and also of a retired judge.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting a good pension. I am okay.
Well, so Dinah, you have any? Dinah, you have?
Any follow-up?
Yeah, Dinah, you have a follow-up?
Well, you know, I didn't want to encroach on the.
Did you know that judge? You know that?
Yeah.
No, she's not just dealing with a judge. She's dealing with a wise man.
Yeah. I'm aware of that, sir.
And
You're
very
dealing.
knowledgeable of everything. I could sit down for hours and talk with you about the politics of your country, because as a retired man, I watch all the talk shows, you know, on MSNBC. From time to time, I'll take a glance at Fox, but largely MSNBC and CNN, you know, and I have a pretty good idea of what's happening in the USA as well.
So can I ask you, Mr. Volney?
Sure.
And are you doing anything in your immediate community? Well, I don't think anybody might be hungry in your area, but are you stepping out of your comfort zone to assist anyone in neighboring communities?
Well, my family has more or less adopted a family that the mother of whom once worked for us, who has some young kids, to help with stuff, you know. I don't know if she's working right now. And we find little ways without the cameras looking on to help the poor. But it's a dangerous thing to go outside of there. We are not like y'all in the USA who could go to any street corner and get a good Pfizer injection. It's dangerous in Trinidad. People are dying like flies.
Johnson & Johnson for me.
But no, as you said that.
Pfizer, man, Pfizer.
As you said that, Mr. Volney, someone asked, do you do private cases? Let me ask that question.
I have not opened a law book since I retired in April 2010. And I am happy, and I have no intention of going back there. There are too many crooks in that profession.
Wait.
And I could only have dealt with them as a judge.
Too many crooks
ripping off people, taking their land, taking their money for every and anything. I don't want to be part of that legal profession in Trinidad and Tobago.
So
my
Mr.
answer
Volney,
is no.
Did you know that as a judge, or did you know that when you came off the bench?
I have known it in all my 42 years in the profession.
Okay,
and
okay.
It stinks.
But Mr. Volney,
huh?
As being the justice minister, couldn't you have put things in place to change some of those things? Have you been the minister? They call it the justice minister, I think, at that point in time.
Yes.
Could you have done things, right? Minister of Justice. Could you have put things in place to change that?
Brother man, let me tell you something. When you're in cabinet, you don't encroach on the portfolio of the Attorney General. These are matters that were under the portfolio of the Honorable Attorney General. And he was very guarded about his portfolio work. My job was reformative. It had to do with the administration of criminal justice. And in my 27 months as minister, of which 4 were when I was ill with my heart and I was not working at the start, I passed a lot of very transformational legislation. So the answer is no, because I would have been encroaching on the portfolio remit of the Attorney General, Anand Ramlogan, at the time, and he wasn't easy.
What do you mean by he wasn't easy?
He would have told the Prime Minister that I'm interfering in his portfolio, and I might have got sacked before. You see this? You see what I'm pulling there?
Yeah.
It's different to his.
What do you mean by that?
Come now. You're not from Trinidad?
From 𝗪𝗵𝗁𝗃, 𝗧𝗵𝗵𝗁𝗃.
Right. Donkey don't run in horse race.
Oh God.
You know now why I was unbeatable in St. Joseph? Not even the PNM could beat me.
Yeah.
Because people love me. I am a man who will sit down and will talk with them just like I'm talking to you, but go in Parliament very serious.
Okay. So another person asked, do you have any intention?
But sadly, the little COVID beard, I never knew I was graying so much.
That a COVID
I'm
beard.
actually looking like the late Sean Connery now.
Yeah, no joke, you know.
Yeah, true.
Correct is right, you know. I know joke there, you know. Yeah, boy, you could pass for that, boy. So Judge Volney, do you have any intentions of going for a seat in the next election?
No, I don't. Let me tell you something, man. I am happy at home, you know. I watch every Euro Cup match. I watch
Who's your team?
every
Who's your team?
Test match.
Who's your team in Euro?
In Euro, France.
Yeah. All right, France.
Any day.
You like to go with winners, boy. Seem like you like to pick winners.
Yeah. and why must I go back in Parliament? For me to go in that cold place and hear politicians kicking every day. Not me. I am good. I have a young wife, you know, man. I have to pet her. I stay home and pet her. My boys are 17 and 12.
Oh my God.
17 and 12?
They need me to be around to teach them how to be a man.
Okay. Are they gonna be lawyers as well?
The little one he's being trained to be a prime minister, a future prime minister.
Oh, a prime minister.
Yeah, that is the one at 11 years old would have stayed up all night until he felt that Donald Trump was defeated.
Yes.
So that tells you something about him, huh?
That is an intelligent young man. That young man is intelligent. Now
and he did it with Hillary Clinton 4 years before. He went to get stupid like a real trini.
So, Judge Volney, with respect to COVID-19, what do you think, if you had to recommend, you know, you and the Minister of Health was good partners again because you voted for him and he passed. And all
if
was
he come and ask me, I will tell him.
Well, that was saying, if he comes and he says, you know, boy, Judge Volney, give me your opinion on things you think can help the government of Trinidad and Tobago improve its handling of COVID-19 in Trinidad. What are 3 quick recommendations you will give to him?
The first thing I'll tell him is there is no need to keep our borders closed. Put in a rule that all those who want to go to New York and New Jersey to get their vaccine, let them go. And if they want to come back and they are fully vaccinated, let them come back. Because there's no correlation at this stage in the age of vaccinations to maintain this ignorant closure of the border. That's the first thing. The second thing is look and see and ensure that there is a correlationship between the measures that they take and what is on the ground. For example, you're not likely to get the spread of COVID on a construction work site. So allow the construction workers to go back to work because they have thousands who are dependent upon them for their fortnightly wages, right? Reopen small businesses. You know how many young single mothers have who are hairdressers, see about the nails, estheticians, and barbers. You have to get the people back to earning their livelihood. These are people who don't want to get COVID, you know. They take precautions. In this age, they take precautions. They have their mask on and they do what they have to do for their own safety and the safety of their people. So I would definitely tell him it's time to start opening back the Trinidad economy by taking these steps. Now, as regards the state of emergency, I have no problem with the state of emergency, because one good thing is all the linemen after 7 o'clock on weekends with men taking their salary and going and drink it out and their children staying hungry at home. All that has stopped. And all them men who want to go and run down women in the evening time, all that done. You had to deal with your lady at home. So that is going to help family life. Okay? So I have no problem with the curfew. I do find, however, that on weekends, they should have the curfew right through. From when you close on a Friday until Monday morning, let people prepare for it and stay home. That way, you will prevent a spread. I'll tell the Minister of Health to talk to his partner, who is the Minister of National Security, and get them to lock down that southwestern border, where these Venezuelans are coming with the Brazilian variant. They're still coming in. Shut it down. That's where it came from, right? And then finally, I would tell him, as harsh as it is, and my wife don't agree with me on this one, put a movement block between administrative regions. In other words, if you're in the Caroni region, you cannot go in St. George. If you're in Victoria, you cannot go in Caroni. That way, you keep the community spread where it is, and you don't allow it to spread across the country, with people from south coming to the north and those from the west going to the east. That is a simple matter that they could have done, because each region has its own hospitals. Each region has its own health centers. Each region has its banks, has its big groceries. Everybody could be dissected into regions, and that way you'll be able to identify where the serious part of the pandemic is, and you'll be able to shut it down in that area first and then deal with the one next door. Those are the basic, simple things that I would advise my friend Terrence. We're still friends, you know. It's just that I can't vote for him again. He let me down.
So, with respect to exile and stranded citizens,
with respect to what?
Exile and stranded citizens, we call it, because that's what we fight for. People who are, we call them exile and stranded citizens, because they have been exiled from their country and they are stranded.
Have
right?
they applied for exemption to come in?
Oh, yeah.
Apply for exemption.
Yeah, people have applied. There's still people who are stranded out here, have applied for exemption and haven't gotten any exemption. Why has the country, the government, continued to lock out exile and stranded citizens? And we know that they are not the ones that spreading COVID-19 in Trinidad and Tobago when they return to Trinidad and Tobago.
They're fully vaccinated. There should be no problem. They shouldn't even have to go into quarantine. But you see, they're living in 2020. These people, these doctors, Dr. 𝗵𝗲 and these people who putting on jacket and tie every day because they're getting national attention. These are the people who are running the country today with these regimes of exemptions and quarantine. Could you imagine the nonsense that you are telling people who are found to have COVID to stay home and to infect their family, telling them you must use a different toilet, a different bathroom to the rest of the family? Where they going to get that different toilet from? Most houses in Trinidad have one toilet and bath. So what nonsense. These people are living in a fool's paradise. They're the ones who are advising. And they are still living in COVID before the era of vaccinations. Now that most people in the USA, certainly in the states of New Jersey, that had it bad for a while, New Jersey, Connecticut, and New York, where they take CAL to come back home. As far as I am concerned, there should be no problem once a citizen, in the first instance, a citizen, presents as a vaccination card that shows that he's vaccinated for more than 2 weeks. Before he boards the aircraft, he should be allowed to get on the aircraft on the way to Trinidad. He shouldn't have to apply for any exemption, right? Remember, he's paying for his ticket in US dollars, which is what the country needs. And when he arrives, if you're taking vaccinated people seriously in your own country, which is here, why can't you give them the benefit of no quarantine? Instead, you're quarantining people who are fully vaccinated for 2 weeks. It is asinine donkey logic, you know? And the people who are sick, who should be put in the quarantine, the local people who have been diagnosed to have COVID, who should be put in the quarantine and monitored, are being left at home to spread it at home. These people are crazy. They're crazy, and the Minister of Health doesn't have the sense to see that they have it upside down. I'm sorry, this is not politics, you know. This is a simple case of rank stupidity.
One other quick question for you, Judge Volney.
I'm now warming up, man. I'm now warming up.
Do you consider the Law Association an independent organization?
No, because all the top rank in the association are being fed government briefs, and they don't respond for the people because they know that if they do, they will lose these very lucrative briefs. Let me tell you something. I'll give you an example. You remember when the Speaker of the House had read out his edict towards me to vacate the seat of St. Joseph, right? I went to the Bright Senior Council, and all of them told me they couldn't take my brief. You know why? Because the Attorney General and the state had approached them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how many lawyers the Attorney General needed to fight Volney? One. But by going to them and telling them, I would like to discuss with you the Volney case, it means to say they had been approached and they couldn't take my case.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
So all of them have been presidents of the Law Association or secretary or whatever it is. Do you seriously think that that organization, which has been sleeping when people's rights have been encroached upon, do you seriously think that they are independent? They are not.
I have a question for him. They recently ruled against a young lady who took the government to court that her constitutional rights were infringed upon, and she suffered undue hardship. We won't get into them right now. She's
Claremont.
one of our...
Her name was Claremont.
Right. Yeah, Miss Claremont. Okay, good. So you're aware, you're familiar.
Of
Why
course.
is it that they are... I mean, we had another guy on the program another lawyer, I can't remember his name, Ansem, you could...
Yeah,
They're holding on to this 1940 saved law to further oppress people in 2021. Whenever I hear something from way back, I'm thinking colonialism. And colonialism and its tentacles, we know the damage that it did to the Caribbean, especially Afro people. Now, here it is in 2021, this 1940 saved law, in my mind, without being knowledgeable of the law in depth, you're using things to, strangle people again. And I think the young lady had a legitimate case. What do you say to that, sir?
I agree with you entirely. I have written extensively about it, starting with the case of the people from the Alicia's guest house who had approached me first, and I passed it on to a former Attorney General, Anand Ramlogan. And he took it to the High Court. He made all the points that I had given to him, inclusive of the question of whether regulation made under the 1940 Public Health Ordinance could override constitutional guarantees of fundamental rights and freedoms. And the judge who was promoted to the Court of Appeal on the Monday after delivering his judgment on the Thursday completely missed the point. It went to the Court of Appeal where there were 3 judges. And as I say, in this country, Chief Justice Archie, who is deep with the PNM, would have chosen his judges in the appeal court. One of them, also from the government service, as was Justice Ronnie Boodoo Singh, who was himself from the DPP's office, gave a judgment in which she did not give her own independent reasoning. All she did was accept the reasoning of the first instance judge. And the other 2 dodos sitting up there simply said, I agree, I agree. To get justice, you have to go to the Privy Council and hope that you get 5 good persons to understand the point that the savings, old saved laws cannot preempt constitutionally guaranteed rights that are infringed by these regulations. That's my position. So I agree with you.
So Mr. Volney, we want to thank you so much. We want to, if you can stay a little bit with us, we got to go for a quick break for the top of the hour. We appreciate you coming and spend some time with us. And we're going to, but before I go, right, someone asked, let me just ask you this quickly, and then we're going to go for a quick break and we're going to come back. How do you feel about your Section 34 setup in a way that Steve and Ish could be gotten away by the bill that you created? Stick and stay. We're going to address that as soon as we come back. Right? Of course, it's in the village with the dark triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. Of course, we come to you every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And we have with us tonight the learned judge who has decided to join us, Judge Volney. I'm calling him Judge Volney because, of course, he was a judge for quite a long time and also a minister, a justice minister, under the People's Partnership. So we're going to go for a quick break and we'll be right back. Stick and stay. Don't go nowhere.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
And of course, we are back with you. It's In the Village with the Dark Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. Of course, we have Diana. We also have Tommy with us. And we have no other than the learned judge from TNT, Judge Volney, joining us here tonight. So, Judge, let's get back to this question here that was asked of you. It says, and Judge Volney, we really want to thank you for being really forthright and answering these questions, because you could always punt. Some people just decide they want to punt, because you're a politician, and politicians
No,
like
no,
to
no,
punt.
I'm not a politician.
No, not a politician anymore.
No, never was. I
All
was
right.
a man with a mission.
Okay. So how do you feel about your Section 34 setup in a way that Stephen Ish could have gotten away by the bill that you created?
This wasn't a Stephen Ish bill. This was a bill where over 30 people had applied for the relief. And most of the people who had applied were people who had cases pending for over 10 years. And it's not easy to have a case pending over you. Your whole life is totally messed up when you have a matter that you want to get over with, and it's not being called up. It's just hanging there. Steve and Ish among the ones who stood out. I did not know them, never met them when I did the bill. And I had no knowledge of the age of their matter in the courts when the bill was piloted by me. And I'm not sure even the Attorney General or the then Prime Minister knew of the age of that matter, which made them eligible to or to qualify to move the court for the relief that was set out in the bill. This is a matter that had been debated in the Parliament. It was a groundbreaking piece of legislation to even the playing field between the oppression of a DPP that did nothing to further the cause of early justice, and the man who was without bail or even with bail, having these matters hanging over his head for those long periods. Let me point out to you that before the bill was proclaimed, I had asked the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Justice to write the DPP. And she did so on 2 occasions, asking how many people would have been impacted and how they would have been impacted and how the state would have been impacted. And the DPP, mindful of this and obviously knowing of this big Piako case, had an opportunity to raise a red flag and never did. That is why I feel that I was set up by, among other persons, the DPP. Because no sooner that the bill was proclaimed, he wrote a 3-page letter to the Prime Minister calling for it to be removed, you know. Now, when it came to the actual decision to proclaim it, I brought the cabinet note to the cabinet, and the prime minister asked me if I had consulted with the DPP and the Chief Justice on the bill. She did not say on Section 34. She said on the bill. And I said yes, which was truthful. She subsequently turned around on me when there was a PNM-inspired march that frightened her. And she called me up to her office, and I told her exactly that you never asked me about Section 34, and that I did in fact have a discussion with the Chief Justice on the proclamation of the bill itself, and that while Section 34 had been raised, it was just an aside. It was not something, and I told them that, look, I was playing hardball, which took my wicket. I told them, well, the government had decided upon this, and the parliament had passed the law, and now is not the time to talk about that. If it is that you want us to do something to correct the law, then you need to make your recommendations. None were made, and I was used as the fall guy, as they say. But I'm glad, as it turned out, that I was fired, because it meant that I was not in that very corrupt partnership government, which became exponentially corrupt in my absence. And people do not see me as being part of the corruption. They may see me as part of a government that became corrupt. So I really didn't seek to help any Stevenage. I was doing my job to help the poor boys inside waiting trial and couldn't get a trial.
But Judge Volney, are you saying that while you were in the government, they weren't corrupt? They only became corrupt when you left? Is that what you're saying?
That is correct. That is correct. The only error that they had made was 𝗪𝗵𝗁, which I had opposed. I told it
No, there was a lot more errors than that, man. Come on. I mean, I do recall.
Do you know when I lost my job? The 20th of September 2012. If you can find any corruption up to that day, you must let me know. Because I would not have stood for it in the cabinet. And they knew that. I was the elephant in the room, the fly on the wall. And I think that is basically why they got rid of me.
All right. Okay. Diana? Somebody said, Judge Volney, I guess this position from your constituency that says, forgive my bad manners. Good night to my fellow constituent from St. Joseph. Hope to see you in church soon. Am I going to church with you?
No, but our church is mashed down. They're fixing the roof.
It mashed down?
Yes, St. Joseph Catholic Church. They did an assessment and the roof was full of termites. So it has been closed for the last 2 years. Like this man living in Jersey. Go church elsewhere.
What are your feelings on the present Speaker of the House?
I used to love that woman as a person. But I think that she can be a little more accommodating to when the opposition wants to raise matters of urgent national importance. She has erred and she has come across as very arbitrary when she doesn't have to be. You know, the thing about the parliament is the opposition must have its say and the government its way. The government has a majority. Let them talk. Let them talk and come across as a good and balanced speaker. You know.
But Judge Volney,
yeah,
didn't the same thing happen? Isn't it a norm in Trinidad and Tobago that whichever party that puts the Speaker of the House is going to be pro that party?
Not really.
Not really.
No, not really. Doesn't
Come
have
on,
to.
come on, Judge Volney, come on.
Doesn't have to be.
No, it doesn't have to be.
Look,
But are they normally?
Look at Mr. Sinanan, who was a PNM speaker, and there were no real complaints against him. Wade Mark started that decline. You know, he wasn't a good speaker. He was a very ignorant man, and he lost the confidence of the House. Bridget Annie said George doesn't have to be as she is. You know, her lasting legacy will not be that she was a good speaker, because a speaker must be fair, must give both a side to speak, knowing full well that the government will have its way. That's why people like me are never made speaker, you know. Because you see, we sat in judgment of people, and we have to hear both sides.
Don't I always say that, answer?
Absolutely.
And keep them in order.
But I'm no longer interested.
So listen to this? Ulrich asks and answers, you know. He says, do you believe she's a PNM supporter?
Yeah. You could answer that to me.
He asks and answers. I mean, Ulrich, he asks and answers. So
obviously.
You have to answer that. But Judge Volney, we want to say you have given us almost an hour so far, and we appreciate your candidness in speaking with us. You ain't avoid none of the tough questions. You answer all the questions, because sometimes people feel that, you know, when you answer like the Brad Boy's question, people feel that you might want to answer it and so on and so forth. But you answered, you were very straightforward. You know, I don't know if Diane and Tommy have any other thing they would like to ask you. You know, but
I have nothing. I don't know about Tommy.
It's all head. It's all head.
I certainly do.
It's all head.
I certainly do.
Yeah, go ahead, Tommy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, Justice Volney, good evening, and thanks for being with us. You know, I'm going back to the topic of civil unrest. And I wanted to ask, do you believe that the people who are now hungry, so to speak, will be interested in civil unrest above feeding themselves? And if they were to get into that mode, wouldn't they be setting themselves up for Gary and his boys to use their one shot, one kill approach to eliminate quite a number of them? I'm still concerned about that topic, the civil unrest situation that seems to be a topic of discussion at this time.
When hungry people come down from the mountain, you ever see ants in these National Geographic documentaries, red ants walking across streets and all that thing in their thousands? There ain't nothing that Gary and the police could do to stop it, you know, because these people are coming down like a blitzkrieg on a supermarket. It happened in 1990. It happened when they it happened with all those supermarkets, Blackman Supermarket and all those supermarkets right there by the cathedral. They just walked in and moved out in no time at all. Before the police even had time to come, they had satisfied their want, their needs. And they even then when they turned on standard and took out washing machines and people who didn't even have electricity were carrying 2 TVs on their back, you know. That is what is likely to happen. Not any insurrection to throw down the government. It is a straight case of hungry people looking for food, and they will get food where they have it. when they come down, when they decide to go down on a supermarket and they go through there, there's nothing that they could do. What they could do, they're going to lock the people inside. By the time the police come, they're done gone with the food. And that is what is going to happen. She should have more said a breakdown of law and order as opposed to any question of 1990 insurrection.
And I want to agree with you on that, Judge Volney. I just felt that the reference to 1990 was a poor choice of words, and she could have used something totally different. That's why I gave that example of the volcano erupting.
You're quite correct. You're quite correct. And let me tell you something. I have an association, a close association with the island of Dominica, where my parents are now buried. And I grew up there as a child. And while I was not there during the hurricane Maria, that decimated the country, from all reports, people who were hungry after 2 or 3 days after the hurricane, they came down in the city and they just moved through supermarkets and the police stood at their side. Many of them reported to have told them, hold something for me. Everybody was hungry. In 1990, if you recall, if you were in Trinidad at the time, they had a complete curfew for days. And if it wasn't for a fig tree, a green banana tree with a nice big bunch of bananas in my backyard, I would have starved. That is when I learned to cook green banana, like boil it and make banana sauce, banana chow, crushed banana, banana pie, together with the little lentils and thing I had in my cupboard. And when you're hungry, you're going to move. You're not going to bother with whether you're going to get locked up. You have children at home. Look, recently they arrested a woman in a supermarket who went in to steal a tin of milk, 𝗪𝗓. And eventually it was resolved because somebody paid for it for her. But she could have been locked up and charged. That is just the little, signal.
Yeah. Correct is right.
People are coming down from the hills. And when you have Minister of Finance saying, well, the checks will be ready in a month's time. The people will be dead in a month's time. Hunger don't wait on anybody. They will come down and there will be trouble in the country. There will be a breakdown of law and order. And that is not what the government is addressing. As I recommended to them, simple solution. Let the Minister of Finance deal with the Ministry of Education. And for each child, whether it is 1 or 2 months value of food in a check, cut the check and send it to the school principals. 2 months for each child registered. They will take that check home and the parents will cash it and they will have food. And that will be done in less than a week. But these crazy people, they have no strategic thinkers in the government. And they're waiting to go through this and that and check to see if it's financial regulations and all this kind of crap when the people are hungry. And if anything happens, remember, I warned you people, you diaspora people in New Jersey, of what could very well happen in your country.
Judge Volney, we want to thank you so very kindly for giving. And listener, we would like to have you back here because you share a lot of knowledge. And when we come into the village, we like to get people who are going to share knowledge. You know, it's important, very important. We not like them other radio stations in Trinidad, you know. When you come, it's bacchanal and confusion. We not like that. We totally different.
I not in that. You ever hear me disparage anybody tonight? No, I
You
won't.
know,
If
know,
people don't have brains to see, they have ears to hear. And I'm just a messenger.
Well, let me tell somebody says to this. This is somebody from your constituency. He says, tell Mr. Volney, if we have church is in the side chapel in St. Joseph Roman Catholic and St. Joseph Convent.
Okay. Well, I've found my other church to go to in the meanwhile. But I am aware that there is a tent on the side. But I'm sorry, I ain't going to line up to make appointment to go to church. I'll walk into whichever church will have me.
Okay, so Judge Volney, any closing words? We thank you so very kindly for joining us. Any closing words?
No, I'm happy for you all up there. It seems like you all are getting on top of the pandemic. Talk to Uncle Joe. Tell Uncle Joe we want some Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson. A new man in charge, you know?
Yeah.
Last guy, boy, we would have dead before
we put him there. Yeah, we would have been dead. It's true.
No, we have plenty of people dead in this country.
You take care.
Okay.
So, Judge Volney, thank you so very kindly. We appreciate you joining us.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Well, folks, I gotta tell you, you know, Diana, when we booked that.
Hello, 𝗪𝗵𝗁 has gone. I wonder where is he? We had Judge Volney on, and the conversation was very interesting.
Yeah, I'm back. I moved myself, right? But Diana, I want to say this, right? When we booked him, it people and some people in the chat were asking, "Oh, what Volney? Oh, you only getting Herbert Volney for?" But the man share some very good information.
That's right. I'm hearing something in the background. Somebody's radio or something.
Ice told me. Yeah, I am very happy that the man come in and the man share information. That's what it was, right? And the good thing about it is that the people who ask the questions, you know, Dan, I thought you would have shy away from them questions, you know.
No, he went to them.
He went to them, boy. The man went to the question. That's good. I mean, I was very happy. Yeah.
But the rest of them are afraid of us.
Yeah. Lana said, I'm going to plant up my garden in case another curfew riot.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
boy.
Yeah, Alex, we only have one question there from you, Ulrich. We didn't want to keep him any longer, you know. Yeah, hey, listen, look, Ulrich say, what about Ulrich? Ulrich say he was good. Please bring him back, Ulrich. Ulrich, what we wanted to do now, Ulrich, is to tell your friends about WZYE 95.9 FM in the village with the dark triplets. Tell your friend, just get one of them to come on. What we are trying to do here is different. We are trying to bring people who radio stations in Trinidad and Tobago don't want to bring on the radio station. They want to bring them because either he's a UNC or you may be a PNM or you might be in between UNC and PNM. We don't care about that. Even Linda MG says, you all better bring him back soon. We're bringing him back. Yeah. We're bringing him back. And that's what it's about. We want, like him. I mean, Ulrich, only other than that one question, Ulrich. Every question you ask, he answered it. JB Harper, every question you asked, he answered it. He didn't shy away from any of the questions.
Nope.
You know? And I Diana, to be honest with you, I thought you would have shy away from some of them questions.
Oh, yeah. When I throw at him, let them eat cake, he understood exactly what I was talking about. Let them eat cake is France. Yeah, where, you know, Marie Antoinette, scoffed upon the poor people. And, they were hungry too. And, she said, oh, she doesn't care. In the dead of winter, she doesn't care. Oh, let him eat cake. So I thought he was going to shy away from it, but he positioned himself as a batsman, and he answered.
He's a serious judge, but he no joke. He no joke. All the questions, Section 34 question come up, because they call him the Section 34 man. He answered it. You understand? He didn't run away from any questions, and that's what we want people to understand now. When you're coming to the village, right? You have to be able to answer the tough questions. So waiting for the PNM people to come into the village, or you come into the village, man. People want to hear what you all have to say.
Tommy, you want to say something?
Go ahead, Tommy.
He was sensing a PNM assault, and he tried to pull back right away. But you made him comfortable, which is very important.
Oh yeah. When you come into the village, man, we go come and just try to slam you and things. We talk with you and we nice you up, And Albert Montano says, Diana and Ansem, this is what democracy is all about. People like you are. Correctly, Albert?
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you, Miss Albert.
We are about the people. We are not following like the people from the Go Along, Get Along PNM gang.
No.
Right? Like, for example, let me look at, and we're going to close after this.
Okay.
Right? When we look at certain people in Trinidad, right? They get 𝗵𝗵𝘁𝗗𝗽𝗍 to come on the program. They get Faris Alwabi. They get Clarence Rambarat. Right? And when we send invitation for them to come on the program, it's like, well, I can't come on the program now, but I'm going to come on the program sometime in the future. In the future, when is the future? The future could be tomorrow, next week, or 2025, right? But you see, we here, let me say this, let me rephrase that. I can speak for myself. I am not part of the, even though I'm a supporter of the PNM, I'm not part of the Go Along, Get Along PNM gang, right? So all of a sudden, and I sent an invitation to the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago too. All of a sudden, they're all afraid to come on the program. They're afraid. Why they're afraid? Right? No, JB. No, JB. No, JB. That's okay. And look, and I know that. Ulrich, I know that. I know all here. Ulrich say, like you, I thought you would have skipped over some of those questions. No, I'm skipping over them questions. No, I'm not skipping over the questions. When you come into the village, you have to be able to deal, because you guys in the chat, you guys help make the program a better program. Right? So we want you guys to put on them questions. JB, no, don't be sorry, boss. Don't be sorry. We applaud you for asking tough questions, and we here gonna pose the tough questions. But you see now, now listen, JB. If a PNM person come and other people asking them tough questions, all you gonna say, all you see, now a PNM person come, they only asking them tough questions. All you remember that, All you remember, because sometimes we just have short memories, We have selected memories. Whenever we come into the village, that's why PNM people afraid to come into the village. They're afraid, right? They take me off the Ministry of Finance conference now. All of a sudden, they remove the station.
Too much of NDA.
Too much. You understand? But that's what it's about. We, the people, want answers, right? And we are gonna ask the tough questions. And Ulrich, you, JB, Alana, everybody who's MG, Linda, MG, all of you guys for asking tough questions. We are gonna pose the tough questions to the host, and we see what happens. But that's what it's about. That's when you're coming to the village. When you're coming to the village, we are not gonna put any icing on any cake, right? There are certain things people want to find out, and the tough questions are the questions need to be asked. And Judge Volney answered every single question, but the man in punt. Another question.
Some he was very direct. No, yes, no. He wasn't him.
Listen to Ulrich. You know, I don't know, boy. You know, I don't know what Ulrich they be thinking sometime. You know, you have me wondering if you are go along, get along too, because you still vote for the PNM no matter what. Ulrich, the election is in 2025. How you know what I could do? So you went into my brain, Ulrich, and you know 4 years later, right, that I am going to vote for the PNM.
Because he's going on the assumption that you say that you're a supporter of the PNM. So that is what he's basing his future prediction on.
Oh, but I'm transparent. I'm transparent, Diana. I ain't hiding behind nothing. You know, I'm transparent, mean hiding. Every time anybody come on this station, I tell them I am a supporter of the PNM. Listen, it's better for me to tell them, right? So they know I'm gonna ask questions, whether it's pro PNM, anti PNM, pro UNC, anti, however you want to put it. I'm gonna ask those tough questions. And Albert Montano, thank you very kindly. 95.9 FM is a real democratic station. Real. We no joke, boy.
That's right.
That we keeping it real, boy. You know what I mean? But guys, you know, we wanna thank you all, you know, for making these programs. You know, when we had Dr. Faith on the other time, you know, Dr. Faith took all the questions too. Every question Dr. Faith took. Tonight, we had Herbert Volney. Every question he take. So when PNM people come in here, like not when they go on Rhoda Barrett show and they go on Sharon Felix show and they go on I-95.5 and all them fellas and they throwing up is once that sponge to them. You know, it's like sponge cake when you go in there. Once that sponge, whoop, shoop. Once that sponge cake, and the people not really getting anything. They're not getting anything. Tonight, we can say, Diana and Tommy, people who are in the chat and people who are listening on 95.9 know that you got something out of this interview tonight. Right? The guy say he don't regret anything with respect to Brad Boys. Right? He may have said that. Right? But Ulrich, sometimes you have to stay in an organization in order to change them. Eh? You have to be sitting at the table sometimes in order to make decisions. You cannot be not at the lunch table if you want to make a decision on what's going to be served.
That's right.
You have to be at the dinner table sometimes. Right? And when you're at the dinner table, you have to make sure that, all right, if they're serving caviar, you could get caviar too. None of what just cavalli and carrot. That's a fish from a long time, eh? Carrot and cavalli, right? So listen, again, guys, we thank you guys so very kindly. It's a pleasure. And Linda, is it Linda? Let me see. Linda MG, if you are still with us, we're gonna allow you to close the program. Can you put your closing comments? Can you put your closing words in the chat? Yeah. Yeah, so Linda is here, right? You know, Ulrich. All right, let me see. Albert Montano
Let Ulrich
says,
take a cough and all then.
Albert Montano says, we won the 1986 election with PNM votes. Yes. Right? He says, why support them if you're seeing wrongdoing? Well, let me ask you a question, Ulrich. If you are kids, right? When your kids do wrong things, you just kick them out of the house? Eh? When your kids do wrong things, I said, hey, go out my house. You're not living in this house no more. Yeah? All right. So Linda says, I'm here to stay. Way to go, folks. So Linda, put your closing comments in the chat and you are going to close the program tonight. You know, so folks, it's always a pleasure. We thank you all for joining us. You know, Alex, Ulrich, you know, Linda MG, Albert Montano, JB Harper, right? Lana, Takesha joined us. One time, Phantom Boy, Rose joined us. Gayatri in Virginia. Let me see who else. Mark Daniel from Tobago. Curtis Montreshat from Chumakak. Mark Daniel from Tobago. Rose joined us as well. We had Mark Trini Lopez, Steve Trini Lopez, out of Florida. We had Cindy from Houston, boy. Cindy said raining in Houston, boy. Yeah, those are some of the people who joined us tonight. Sharon Pocket, that's
Yes.
Dana friend, boy, in Georgia, boy.
Yes,
All the
boy.
way in
Yeah.
Georgia. Sharon, thank you for joining us, man. It's always a pleasure. We thank you so much, you know. Yeah, Ulrich, thank you so much, man. And Ulrich, we like, you see, Ulrich, there are many things we may disagree with, but there are some things we're going to agree with. Let's come together on the things we agree with, right? And leave the other things that we disagree with outside. We go deal with that at some other point. Linda MG, don't forget, we're trying to get you to put your closing comments in the chat. And Lana says, great show tonight. Praying God keep you all safe till we meet again. Always keep it real. Stay safe, you all. Thank you so much, Lana. We appreciate that. And we are going to do that as well. You know, we that's what we are here for. We are here to try to keep it real. Okay, Tommy, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Well, what I want to say, a diamond is merely a lump of coal that will do well under pressure. And I hope that those diamonds who are in the rough right now would, when they are pressured, do better. Also, the best portion of a good man's life
Tommy, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm saying the best portion of a good man's life
Tommy, you're not hearing you.
All right. Let me try it again. I'm saying the best portion of a good man's life. Are you hearing me now?
Yeah, we hearing you.
All right. I'm trying to say something here, but
all right. So let me go. So, folks, from where I sit, this is it. The clock on the wall. So that's all I like to say, but I've got to go. Remember, hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard. And for every 60 seconds of anger, you lose 1 minute of happiness. In the words of Harry S. Truman, once a government is committed to silencing, once a government is committed to the principle of silencing the voice of opposition, it only has one way to go. And that is down the path of increasingly repressive measures until it becomes a source of terror to all its citizens and create a country where everyone lives in fear. That's a special message to the Congress on the Internal Security of the United States, August 8, 1950, by Harry S. Truman. Go ahead, Diana.
You took my quote from me. I have it right here. So I'm echoing it. Ditto.
Okay.
Trinidad and Tobago is facing a humanitarian crisis. Without a plan for the salvation of the nation and the citizens' long-term economic well-being, I shudder to think of the health and economic ramifications. Citizens are now enveloped with fear. Fear of becoming ill from the virus, fear of the vaccine, fear of being a victim of crime, fear of their economic stability, fear of not having enough food to feed their children, fear of not having a job to return to. Mrs. 𝗪𝗵𝗁 in this atmosphere of heightened fear in the Twin Republic and in your highly visible capacity, the time for making public inferences to an unfortunate part of the Twin Republic's history, the coup of 1990, is not now. Honorable MP 𝗵𝗂, instead, why not use your platform to calm the fears of the hurting republic? to advocate for heavy fiscal firepower to encourage a whatever it takes strategical economic response to the crisis facing the citizens in the country. The climate of frustration that is present in TNT is now playing out daily. And if there's any underlying condition to the frustration felt, there is unemployment, bitter poverty, and the populace are keenly aware of the sharp inequality between the suffering and the haves and the have-nots. Citizens may be losing confidence in the future of the Twin Republic. Again, against this backdrop, there should be zero public inferences to any coup. Perhaps you may want to whisper it quietly to PM Rowley, if legitimate concerns are known, Madam 𝗵𝗫. If malicious forces are afoot to incite a coup, the appropriate government agencies are well aware, I am sure. So going forward, MP 𝗵𝗫, on behalf of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, please advocate for calm, for citizens to be vaccinated, for continued adherence to social protocols, for counseling for those who are hurting because they've lost a loved one, for immediate economic relief, for unity and harmony. Remember our motto on the coat of arms: together we aspire, together we achieve. Extend an olive branch to the incumbent, Prime Minister Rowley, and for the sake of the Twin Republic, accept that olive branch. Whatever you are, PNM, UNC, PEP, whatever part of the alphabet, or any other political party, Trinidad and Tobago is your home. And remember, future generations are looking on, and those future generations are future votes. This is your resident poet bidding you auf Wiedersehen until we meet again. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. We appreciate that. So, Diana, JB wants a transcript. Diana, JB say you want a transcript. Hey, JB, if you go to our page, we're gonna put up that just with Diana alone, and we always do that. You know, that is Diana editorial. Diana is the editorial lady. You know, she giving her editorial. We put up her editorial on the page. So let's close the show with Linda MG. Linda said, Mr. Volney was amazing, and the way he responded to every question proved that he's a professional. We need more persons like him to join us here in the village. Good night, folks. Linda MG, thank you very kindly, and we do 100% agree with you. You know, and that's basically what it is here, you know, in the village. When we come on, we want people to be honest. We want to keep them with questions. We're not going to be disrespectful, and we're gonna ask tough questions. You know. All right, no, I don't want to do that. Let me go here. That wasn't. Yeah, that wasn't. We're gonna go out with
So the government mess up.
Yeah, we're gonna go out with the government mess up. There we go. You sure you want to go with tension? The government mess up.
Already the tension will help.
Yeah, the government mess up. Here we go with that. We're gonna close with Winston Soso, who left us recently. The government mess up. Here we go. All right. Come on, Winston.
We want a change.
This is Caribbean.
I want to come home and live again, but I hear the country's so hard. I'm so hurt I can't stand the pain. Cause how I bust and I cried, I went out and tell the world my country, life is so beautiful, happy. come home, they tell me how it ain't easy. The pressure we getting now gon' kill me. I hear they say the government mess up. Tell them playing innocent can't work. All who think the government mess up, join and get rid of them if they won't stop. Just tell them you want to change. Tell them you want to change. They better do right. Nothing can keep me from this country, 'cause here is where I was born. I never believed we could go hungry, even if the pressure is on. We were always a land of love and together, but nowadays we fight and love each other. Who's to blame for bringing on the pressure? Let's make a change, the time is now or never. I hear they say the government mess up. Tell them playing innocent can't work. All who think the government mess up, join and get rid of them if they won't stop. Just tell them you want to change. Tell them you want to change. What can they ever do right? We can't go on living on a promise, and that's what governments do. How much longer will they be dishonest? So many things they promise to you. Don't sit down and let them rule this country. You must be strong and express the way you feel. They're doing wrong, so you must find someone to lead this country on, so we can live and love and peace. I hear they say the government mess up. Tell them playing innocent can't work. When all who think the government mess up, join and get rid of them if they won't stop. Just tell them you want to change. Tell them you want to change.
This is Caribbean